Hello and welcome to this discussion on the interactive layout transfer technique. This technique has been developed by the User Interfaces Research Group at Aalto University as part of its collaboration with Huawei Technologies. This technique provides a powerful new capability for the designers of graphical user interfaces. Across all computational platforms, whether you are talking of web, handheld device, or desktop applications, the GUI is a predominant means for people to interact with computational systems. Naturally, UI design is a mature field where good design practices have evolved into formal design guidelines. Most large organizations generally enforce their own internal design guidelines and practices so that their UIs give a common look and feel with a standard and visually appealing experience. One effect is that such organizations now have a design library available. A design library generally means a set of well-defined UIs that the organization considers as its well-proven, standard, unquestionably good designs that can serve as a reference for future work. In fact, a well-curated and properly maintained library, if available, is a strong asset for that company. For example, here we are showing a case where some 12 handheld device or mobile phone interfaces could probably be serving as the reference set or the design library for one particular organization. In fact, the larger companies that we have worked with typically have a design library of 1000 plus very good UIs from various different facets of work. Question is, can we automate the use of this library? Can we make it easier for the organization to build and maintain this library formally, rigorously, and systematically? More than that, is it worth it for the organization? I mean, can we make the future design process more efficient by the use of this library? Can it help designers be more productive? Can we ensure that the designs hence generated are much faster, easier, and more efficient? We believe the answer is yes, and we are presenting this technique to discuss this answer. Let us look at a real practical example. Imagine that a new designer has joined a company for the first time. It's his or her first day of work, and some business manager walks up and on a piece of paper or on a computational device gives some kind of an idea of an initial sketch. I would like to have a graphical user interface looking something like this. Vague, in unclear specification has been provided. Now the designer looks at it, he or she will start making it, walks up to some senior designer in the company and says, "Hey, this is my first task, I'm doing it over here." The senior designer looked at it and said, "Wait, I remember that some 6 months ago I had created another design. Look at this design number 42 over here. This design number 42 exactly matches or closely matches what you are intending to make over here. So pull out this design from our design database and try to make something similar to it, because design number 42 is one of our reference very good designs and it follows all the company guidelines, systems, practices, and so on." So now our novice designer has got an interesting situation. He has got an initial draft available over here, initial sketch available, and he or she also has an initial information on a closest match in the database. What we need to do now is make this in this format, as in the template, the guideline, the practices followed over here will remain fixed, but the content will be in line with whatever is the initial sketch. If this can be done, it will be a fast, quick, efficient way of developing UIs immediately according to that company's practice. So, we believe that style transfer technique that we discussed today can really achieve this product. In fact, a typical result for the very simple case that we were discussing, the initial sketch is taken over here, the closest match in the database has been found by the system, the designer accepts this as a reasonably good match, and the system goes and develops something out of it. To develop this system, we believe we require 5 components. One, the library and some way of making the library itself such that designs can be added, modified, searched, classified, and edited if required. Some kind of a mapping system which says that given a partial, rough, or initial sketch, how can we find the most relevant designs from the library? Third, a visualizer, some way to visualize the distribution and classification of designs in that particular company or organization. Fourth, the transferring component, the heart of the whole system. Given a sketch A and a good design B, transform A into the style of B. And lastly, we want to have some kind of a personalizer which allows the guideline implementation and further modifications to happen on top of a given sketch being developed. Out of these five components, the current discussion will focus on these two: the mapping, that is identification of the best closest match from the library, and transfer, given two designs, transform one into the format of the other. So now it is show time. Let us go through the actual interactive layout transfer happening on a real life system. For this demo, we have selected the Sketch software. Sketch is a well-established GUI design tool in the market. Along with Sketch, we have got a small plugin available on top, which is the implementation of this style transfer activity. We have made just now in front of you quickly a draft, a initial sketch of what we wanted to work with. We gave that sketch and asked the system to pick from the design library the closest possible match. Multiple matches are available, but the system will give in sequential order the closest available match, and that has been given. So the system recommends that the top design over here is the closest match for our sketch. When we select that, it tries to give what will be approximately the final result if we go with this particular selection. If we like what has been suggested over here, what is being shown just now, then we click it and the existing UI is completely transformed in that particular pattern. So we'll click on the suggestion over here and the UI will change at this point. The UI has been changed in line with the recommendation given, in line with the closest match available. The UI has been modified. If we wish to make further changes on that, if we wish to add something more, it's always possible. For more information on this interactive layout transfer technique, as well as other interesting HCI related research projects, please have a look at the home page of our research group, userinterfaces.alto.fi. Thank you